Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Nikki Clarke, and this is the Nikki Clarke Show live on Instagram Live. So, thank you so much for joining. So, I'm just waiting for everyone to know and to join me. It's 1 o'clock, and we have a fabulous guest. Angela Brown is going to be joining us. So, Angela, can you request to join me? There we go. Angela will be joining us in just a couple of seconds. She is the author of Miracle of God, and she is also a chronic pain coach. So please welcome Angela. How are you doing, Angela?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Welcome. I'm just going to give some shout out, Juliet. Welcome. I'm going to give you a wave. And Ivy, thanks for joining. I'm going to give you a wave too. So I have to say that today is such a humid day. I've been trying to kind of tame my hair, but it just keeps doing whatever it wants. So I just put it in like a little bit of a band here and let it fall however way it's going to do it today. You know what I mean? But
Good.
thank God for the heat. Hello, Ivy. Angela, how are you? How are you keeping?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
well. I'm well. Thank you. So thanks for joining us today at 1. And I know that we had spoken before about all your many achievements, but we're going to talk about the release of your book, which I think dropped this month, right?
Yes, that's
Miracle of
right.
God.
Right.
And I think before we do that, I think it's important for the viewers to understand how it all came about. What was the transformation? So, can you share a little bit about your story, your
Okay.
background leading up to releasing this great book?
Okay. Well, I was born in the UK, and I moved to Jamaica at age 2, and I lived there with my grandmother for about 6 years. And I came to Canada. My mom, and my grandma, they always knew that I was sick, but they just didn't understand like how significant that was. At
Mm,
8 years old, I weighed 38 pounds, and I was like about 3 feet tall. And my mom took me to the hospital for sick children when I first arrived, and they did, all the medical workup and everything. And then that's when they told her that there was like 2 holes in my heart, that I had like a spinal defect, um, a valve defect, and a host of other things. And they said, we can't do all of her in one surgery because there's just so much to be done. She might need like 2 or 3 surgeries. So shortly after coming to Canada, within 6 months, I had my first surgery, and that was done by the chief cardiologist at the time, who was just on his way to retire. And with my mom's pleading, he agreed to take my case because he was teaching other like interns how to become cardiologists and stuff like that. But he was like in Canada, I think, basically the specialist when it came to the heart and what needed to be done. And so he agreed and he did the procedure. Um, and then about 6 months later, once I was semi-recovered, he did the second surgery. And they decided after that was pretty much what they needed to do, just to give me, a chance to recover from all the surgeries. And I was enrolled in school, but I wasn't really going to school very much because I was in the hospital a lot, and I would get sick a lot from just like chronic colds and chronic ear infections and the works. And once you get that, I have to stay home because I have to take antibiotics and stuff. So, and then when I did go to school, it was a challenge because I was very bullied. Like bully was, back then I was a prime target for bullies because I was so small, and I was like an introvert, didn't really speak much. And also at that time, in the 1970s, there weren't many black students in my school, especially the Catholic school system. So, that was where I got bullied a lot. And my older sister, she would be like my protector, standing up for me, fighting for me, trying to keep people away from me, just because of my heart condition and things like that. And I didn't really go out for recess much. I spent most of my time at recess, like in the library, because they were just so scared that I was going to get hurt, and you know, then wouldn't be good. So I spent a lot of time in the library. And so growing up, I always knew that I always felt different. Like obviously I was different, and I would question, God, why am I even here? Right? And I didn't really have friends. I had my two sisters, but not really any friends. And it continued like that to elementary school, and then there was high school was better. Was not as much bullying, but it's still some, and I was still in the Catholic system. And the school I went to, there was like 600 students, and there was like 20 black students. So, but we tried not to stand out. We just tried to blend in. And like I said, I was shy anyway. Spent most of my time, same thing in the library. Didn't go out to play if they were going swimming or some kind of extracurricular activities. Usually I wasn't involved. I was in the library, and if they had like a field trip, my mom wouldn't let me go, so she would just keep me at home because she didn't want me to go.
Okay.
And she couldn't go because she was a single mom with three kids to take care of, working three jobs to take care of us.
Right.
And my younger sister was also sick. She had cerebral palsy. So my mom, she had a lot on her plate. So we did the best we could to try to make sure that her, not to make her life any more difficult.
Okay.
So,
So Angela, your childhood was kind of, one with some very challenging beginnings.
right.
Dealing with illness at a very early age, and then going into the school system and being harmed because of the illness, through
Yeah.
bullying. That must have been extremely challenging for you, and then your mother having to, help you through this,
Right.
and then having another child. I can't imagine just, the journey that you had to go through. But I'm certain that it was a preparation
Yes.
for what you needed to have
Mm-hmm.
happen later on in life. So
Exactly.
so let's fast forward a little
Okay.
bit
Sure.
because I understand the early traumas of what you
Yeah.
went through. But let's go to the place now where um, the accident that
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
another transformation in your life. What
Yes.
happened
Exactly.
that day?
So that day I went to a business meeting. It was like December. It was a very nice December. Like it wasn't snowing, it wasn't raining. It was just, and I had a passenger in my car, and that someone had asked me to give a ride home because she lived in Scarborough. And as we approached the intersection, um, I saw another car, but on the other opposite side, she was going to make a left turn, but she didn't stop at the lights. So in order to make the left turn, she just kind of went right through it, and then so she slammed into the car on the driver's side, um, and like I couldn't move. I think my car. I was told that my car spun around two times, and then it hit into the traffic post, and then um, my passenger was saying that she was having a heart attack. She thought she was having a heart attack. I'm trying to help her, but I can't move. Like my neck, the pain in my neck was like excruciating. Like I couldn't, the car wouldn't turn off. I tried to find my phone, called 911. They said, "Oh, you've had several calls already. Help's on the way." When the paramedics came, I couldn't open the door because it was stuck. So they had to pull the door off, and it was pretty traumatic. Like I just thought, okay, it's like a scene from a movie. And then I told them to check the passenger first because she was having a heart attack. Then they told me, no, she's fine. It's just the seatbelt that had crushed her a little bit, so that's why she felt like she was having a heart attack.
Right.
And yeah, so they strapped me to the backboard, put the thing on, and just then took me to the hospital. Where my daughter came to meet me at the hospital, because I had called my daughter to tell her that I was going to the hospital. And then the doctor said, okay, look, they were going to do an X-ray because they knew that I'd had previous surgeries. I had a previous surgery on my neck in 1999. So basically, they did the X-ray, and basically he just wanted to check to make sure that the metal plate that they had placed in my neck at that time was fine, and that was fine. And he said, okay, you could go home. But he didn't really check for anything else, and I was just like, I can't move my neck. It hurts so bad. And he said, oh, you just have whiplash. So
he kind of dismissed it, right?
Yeah, right. So go home. The next day I went to see my family doctor, and he said, okay, he gave me some pain medication and said, just try to stay easy as much as you can. Pretty much for 7 weeks, I was just literally confined to my bed. And then they said I should start physio. And so I started physiotherapy and massage therapy. But every time I went there, I felt worse. And fast forward 6 months, I was like, this is not whiplash. So I went back to my family doctor again, and I said, I feel like there's, I don't know if you've ever had a TENS machine and the vibration of the TENS machine on my head. And I said, and then I feel like electrical shocks, like in my neck, like it just doesn't feel right.
Yes.
And then he said, okay, I'll send you to a neurologist, which he did. And she examined me for about 15 minutes. And then she said, okay, I'm going to send you to get an MRI. And then usually MRIs, you have to wait a long time. But somehow she got it done in a few days. And 3 days later, she called me and she said, oh, you need to go to the hospital right now. You need to go to Toronto Western, and you need to admit yourself. And she said, I'm going to send some information to them. And then I was just like, well, what's wrong? And she says, oh, your neck isn't stable. And I go, well, what does that mean? And she said, oh, they'll explain it to you when you get to the hospital. And I said, should I bring a bag, like coat? And she says, yeah, you should bring an overnight bag. You're probably going to be staying. And basically I got there, and I was treated like a VIP patient. Like I got through right away and emerged. And then somebody came and put a neck brace on me. And there's just all this stuff, and nobody was explaining to me what was going on until the neurosurgeon came in, and he said, well, your neck is broken. There's a part of it that's supposed to be attached to your skull. It's hanging off your skull. And so we have to do a surgery. And you're going to have surgery tomorrow morning. And I was just like, what?
So how many months, Angela, sorry to interrupt you, were you walking around with a broken neck?
6 months.
6 months. I don't know. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we complain about maybe like a headache. You had a broken neck for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went to action surgery, and then...
And they told me that they didn't know how the surgery was going to come out, that I could be paralyzed from the neck down, or could possibly die, or not be able to talk. There was like a whole list of stuff. I had to sign a consent form. And then a few days later, they did the surgery. And that was like excruciating pain. I mean, I've been through...
I can't imagine.
I've been through surgeries. Like that was my 7th or 8th surgery. And that was like most pain I've ever had in my life. Like the brace was on. I couldn't move. And then I was like, everybody just keep rushing around me. I can't move. The doctors and nurses, and it's just crazy. I've never been through anything like that, even though I've been to the hospital so many times.
So you got through that horrific experience, and I can't even imagine. Probably the worst pain that I can think of is childbirth, but that only lasted a moment, and I went back and had 3 more children. So but 6 months of continuous pain
Yeah.
is on another level. And I think obviously this has been the creation of a trajectory for you in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what you're doing in life with it.
Right.
So now you are a chronic pain, a chronic illness coach. So how do you take this experience and coach people through it?
But what I've done is I first I created a course that I would somebody if I had like a new someone that had some injuries and didn't know how to deal with it, because you have to change your mindset in order to deal with it, right? I mean, first of course you're gonna feel sorry for yourself and you're gonna have a pity party and all these things, but you have to want better. You have to want to do more, because if you just give in to what you're feeling, then you would just stay in bed and do nothing. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do more, and so I want to help people to do more. And the course that I created is to help change people the mindset first of all, so that you want to get out of bed, you want to get out of the house, you want to do other things, like, um, and it's a series of steps of modules that will help you in the first stage, and then I'm creating more courses after that to help people as they go along, because I feel like God gave me a purpose, and that my purpose is here to help people. And if I can help someone by sharing my story of how I got through it,
Yes.
then that means I'm doing the purpose that God put me here to do. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let's talk about your book, Miracles of God, or Miracle of God, rather.
mhm,
Um, what you have described to me, I would say, is a wonderful illustration of a
mhm,
miracle of God having overcome something so tragic.
right,
So, can you tell us about the book and
okay,
all the great parts of it?
okay.
Yes.
Well, I attribute the book to my daughter Natasha, because she's always
Is she
encouraged.
watching now?
Yeah, yeah, I hope, yeah, she is.
Shout out to Angela's
To
daughter. How
Natasha.
are you?
She always said, "Mom, you need to write a book. Mom, you need to write a book." And every time I go somewhere and I share my story, people say, "You need to write a book." And I heard it so many times. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, when I would go to the hospital for checkups and this and that, people they would say, "Oh my gosh, you're a miracle of God. You're a miracle of God, because you shouldn't have gotten through that.
Yes.
Each time I something, oh, you shouldn't have gotten through that. You shouldn't even be here. So you're a miracle of God." So that was the title for the book, The Miracle of God, because I heard it being said to me so many times, and like I didn't believe it. I didn't think I was a miracle of God and that I was like anything special, but
Yeah.
after the car accident, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm definitely miracle. God wanted me here, and that's the 30 seconds that changed my life would be the car accident, and so I sat down, started to write the book. Actually, first, a lady I know named Chechi Boss, she was writing, she was doing a book project, and she was getting a group of women together to do a book. And so I wrote one chapter of that book. And she said, "Oh, your story is so good. You need to write the whole thing." And so that's why I decided, okay, finally, Natasha's going to get her way. I'm going to write a book. And then I wrote the book, but like I cried a lot of times writing the book. And it was hard, but it helped me, because it also helps me to, we all have things in our past that happened that we think we got over, and you know, and but it's still there. So it was like a cleansing of getting rid of all the stuff that I had bottled up inside, and from childhood, like from being bullied and all that, got through all that, and then was able to figure out the chapters, what was most important, um, and that's why I wrote the book. And I didn't want it to be too long, like a big Bible book, because I don't want people to get bored, reading that much. So I just tried to put the important parts of it, the accident and
How many
the
chapters?
surgeries. There's 9 chapters.
9. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's a pretty, easy read.
yes, exactly.
Not Bible length, you said.
Right.
So it'll get through it in maybe a couple of nights, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Awesome. And where can people purchase it?
um, they can purchase it. It's on Amazon right now. There's a printed copy, and there's also an ebook. And I also have copies myself that if people direct message me that they want a book, and then I could, sign it, autograph it, and then mail it out to them.
Okay, well, make sure to have your signed copy for me. I'm looking
Okay, of
forward to
course.
that.
Yeah.
And we're also, when the restrictions are lifted, we'll be seeing each other again in my studio.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll have another chat. But it's been really, it's always an inspiration talking to you, Angela. You deal and you have dealt with the cards that life has given you with so much grace,
right,
and taken all these lessons and really made them blessings for others to understand in the way that you teach them. So thank you for just being able to do that and being the person that you are. And I understand that you're giving back to the community, so you're organizing some classes. Can you talk about that? Some
yes,
trainings?
Yes. So I will be reaching out. I've already reached out to ask for anyone who has a chronic illness that they can reach out to me, and I would like them to try the first course that I did as a pilot project, just to help me to see if I'm on the right track, if there's anything that I should add, if there's anything that I should change, just to help to get the process going, and so that I can help as many people as I can.
Fantastic, fantastic. And Angela, how can they reach out to you on social media?
My email address is Angela Brown at 802 at hotmail.ca.
Awesome.
And also they could direct message me through my bio. Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm also having a contest today for anybody who's on the live. You have to be on the live. So there's a few contest rules. One which is that they have to follow me on Instagram. The second rule is they have to like or comment on my latest post, like my most recent post, if they can like and comment that, and direct message me their email address. And I'll be picking 3 winners tomorrow morning, and then I will announce it on Facebook and Instagram.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Angela. And I just want to give a shout out to Sunny Singh. I am well. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. And Ivy Vine says, thank you, Angela. Such an inspiration. And yes, you absolutely are an inspiration. And just keep being that beautiful soul that you are. We really appreciate people like you who are selfless and taken, what would be a tragedy and really turned it into a blessing to help people understand how to overcome this this obstacle, to overcome these challenges through your experience. So we really appreciate it. Okay, so if you're just joining us now, we've been chatting with Angela Brown. She's the author of Miracle of God, and she's also a chronic illness coach. So Angela, if you just want to repeat how to reach out to you.
Okay.
One more time.
All right. So my email address is Angela Brown 802 at hotmail.ca.
Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you. Stay safe, stay strong, stay positive. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate it. Big kiss out to you, sending you viral hugs. And remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to your community, okay? Yes. Stay home if you can. If you can't, then always cover up and keep your social distance. And we're going to definitely get through this. Okay. Angela, all the best.
Okay,
and talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Okay. God bless. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.